Hello everybody and welcome to the third and final part of the Ultimate PowerPC Mac video series. So as you saw in the last video, our monster PowerMac G5 Quad is now a reality. But there'd be no point in building this awesome system unless we were going to test it to its absolute limits. So in this video we're going to run some benchmarks, run some games, and just in general see exactly what this upgraded monster of a machine from 2006 is capable of in 2016. So yeah, enjoy. First up then, and we've got to get the big one out the way, this is Geekbench. This little benchmark tests the machine's CPU and memory, and I've got to be honest guys, ever since getting into the whole PowerPC Mac scene, I have always wanted to put a Quad G5 through Geekbench to see exactly what sort of a number it pushes out. And well, there's my answer, 3,526. For a PowerPC Mac, that is an absolutely astronomical number. Comparing it to the fastest G4 ever produced, the dual 1.42 GHz MDD, and it absolutely crushes it nearly threefold. And putting it toe to toe with the second fastest PowerPC Mac ever produced, the dual 2.7 GHz PowerMac G5, and even that cannot come remotely close to the Quad G5. This thing was truly in a league of its own when it came out, and aside from the Mac Pros, the Quad was still outperforming most Macs all the way up to the switch to Core i-based processors in 2010. So next up we need to test exactly how quick our OCZ Vertex 2 SSD is. Bearing in mind that we're running this SSD on a SATA 1 bus here, which runs at a quarter of the speed of most modern PC's drives run at, we've got a total score of 233.89, a sequential score of 148.45, and a random score of 550.97. To put those seemingly meaningless numbers into context, the SATA 3 SSD that runs in my main PC scored over 550 overall, with 357 on the sequential and nearly 1200 on the random. So looking at that, and you may think that we're not in very good shape, but it's when you look at the stock mechanical drive that came with the machine you truly begin to realise the benefits of installing an SSD in even a decade-old machine like this. The stock drive scored less than 60 points overall, with 167 on the sequential and an embarrassingly low 35 on the random. Shifting our focus over to graphics, this is OpenMark. Widely regarded as the best GPU benchmark on the PowerPC platform, this would allow us to see exactly how our Quadro FX 4500 stacks up against the 6600 it's replaced, and of course against its close sibling, the 7800 GTX. After running the benchmark at 1920 by 1080, our FX 4500 managed a seriously impressive score of 15,769. Comparing this to the 6600 that came with the machine, and we're over 10,000 points to the good. But this comparison is the one that seriously piqued my interest, and the 7800 GTX scores a monstrous 17,713 points. So going on this benchmark alone, the GTX is undoubtedly a quicker card, and we're down on power by about 13%, but for all intents and purposes, our Quadro is still an absolute beast. And I wanted to see how it fared with a bit of gaming. Simple 2D puzzle games like World of Goo, as you'd expect, run like an absolute dream at 60 FPS at full 1080p. And even with more heavy stuff like Halo Combat Evolved, the Quadro is able to kick out a consistent 60 FPS at 1080p with absolutely every single setting maxed out. Now the 6600 can also play this game just fine as well, but to get a consistent frame rate I was finding myself knocking the resolution down to 900p and having to disable any sort of shaders altogether. But where this card really shone for me is in Colin McRae Rally. This game looks absolutely stunning for a PowerPC Mac game. Running again at full 1080p with nearly all of the settings cranked up, this G5 is able to kick out a buttery smooth 60 FPS experience, only ever dropping into the 50s when there are a serious amount of particle effects like dust and leaves on screen. Being able to play simple or pre-vintage games like World of Goo or Halo is one thing, but being able to play a game this pretty, this well, totally sold me on the Quadro's performance. So now we're coming on to a test that has pretty much been the bane of most PowerPC Mac's lives in the last 10 years, and that's video. This is a standard 1080p video file playing in the god-awful QuickTime player, and impressively it manages to pull it off without too many hiccups. But if you're going to do 1080p video on any PowerPC Mac, G5 Quad or not, always go to Core Player as your #1 option. As you can see, it's flawlessly dealing with it, and the CPUs are barely being taxed while doing so. So 1080p is a little on the easy side for this quad, so I wanted to find out whether 4K video was possible. In QuickTime Player, it was barely a slideshow, and for whatever unfortunate reason I wasn't able to get any 4K footage running inside a Core Player at all, but thankfully we didn't need Core Player as our 4K video file was able to run inside VLC without an issue. This is 4K video being played on a 10-year-old PowerPC Mac. The video looked absolutely incredible, and it was kind of a jaw-dropping moment and made me realise just how incredible this awesome computer is. And moving away from benchmarks and other synthetic tests, because they don't tell the whole story, I can confirm that I have used, over the past week and a half while I've been recording and editing and doing everything related to the 3 videos you've seen in this video series, absolutely everything has been done on the G5 Quad itself. From the voiceovers to the editing to the colour correction to absolutely everything. It has all been done within Final Cut Pro 7 on the G5 Quad, and I've also been using it over the past week and a half as my only machine. Anything, although my Hackintosh is back up on the setup now, everything that I would normally do on my MacBook or on the Hackintosh on a day-to-day basis has been done on the G5 Quad. From web surfing to watching 1080p video, YouTube, absolutely everything has just been purely done on the G5 Quad, and I was expecting to record this little bit here and go, this was a massive challenge, guys, and blah-de-blah, there was limitations here and limitations there, but I've got to be honest with you, it's just blown my socks off. It has just been unbelievable. Normally using a PowerPC Mac, be it anything from an iBook G3 up to even a dual processor PowerMac G5, you kind of just get to know the limitations, be it the hardware limitations or the software limitations, websites not being optimized or various architectural kind of flaws that you just have to put up with using a PowerPC Mac. I found myself just staring at this quad while I was using it and going, holy shit, this is a PowerPC Mac that I'm using, because it just seems to have, like, just simple stuff like browsing the web and scrolling through a web page, scrolling through Facebook or whatever. You expect it to be stuttery and jittery and jumpy, but it's just like the sheer amount of power that this quad has under the hood just brute forces through everything and just smooths all of the kind of jumps and stutters out. This machine is just a feat of engineering. It's the absolute pinnacle. Being someone that is so passionate about PowerPC and these old machines, to see a completely maxed out PowerMac G5 Quad completely in its element, rendering 1080p video and just absolutely bossing it. For the whole week and a half that I used it, it just brought a smile to my face. And if it wasn't for a couple of applications that I completely relied on a daily basis, that are just Intel only applications, I would not hesitate in bringing the Hackintosh down and leaving the G5 Quad up there. It has been that good, guys. And yeah, that if that's not an endorsement for PowerPC in 2016, then I don't know what is. But yeah, I think that's quite a nice way to end the series, guys. This has just been so much fun to record and edit and do everything on the G5 Quad itself. It's just been an awesome week and a half doing everything related to this series. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. A lot of effort and work has gone into it, so if you could leave a like and just drop a comment, that would be absolutely, it would mean the world to me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the series, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.